Welcome to Deconstructing Data. Hello, my name is David Goki, and I am your host today, founder of Go Technology Solutions, in for my friend Jessie Lezak, fractional CMO at BDEX, along with BDEX's CTO, David Wellborn, who is also filling in for David Finkelstein, who is on a well-deserved vacation with his wife, and Jessie is receiving a CMO award. Well, I was just going to say, David, welcome to the show. What's new with you?
Hi there. Well, we continue to do well with our cookieless ID resolution. It continues to move the needle for our clients. We are in alpha testing of our MCP service so that people can use their LLMs to actually query our data. So that's been exciting to see that develop, but it's still alpha.
Very cool. I love that. Well, today on Deconstructing Data, we're thrilled to welcome Julie Matzen, who's the co-founder of the Boarderline. And I just want to say, Julie, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Would you mind just sharing a little bit about kind of yourself and also kick us off by what led you to becoming the co-founder of the Boarderline?
Oh, geez. I'm going to try to make this quick. So I've been in advertising for about 25 years, actually more, but let's just go at 25. And 13 years ago, I started my own ad agency, and along the way found that people wanted part therapy, and also small businesses couldn't afford us as an ad agency. We worked with major clients, and I thought, wouldn't it be great to have a website where small people could get access to the big mind talent that everyone deserves but can't afford? And that's how Boarderline was born. And I'm very honest about my whole journey as an entrepreneur, because it's been an interesting ride. And I think we've pivoted 65 times, and AI wasn't in the picture in the beginning. And now AI has changed everything. It's actually given us more opportunities, but now our focus is on education. And we found that mentorship programs at the entrepreneurial level don't have a platform to combine everybody. So we created it, and we're doing a pilot with a very, very top school right now. We're so excited. And so, yeah, I mean, AI, I think I said it before, I was sleeping with the enemy. Like, it was replacing my ad job, but at the same time, it's created opportunities that I didn't dream about, that I couldn't possibly dream about. So that's
nice. Well, we've got some exciting topics today, and we're going to jump right in. The first is using AI in marketing. What does that even mean these days?
Oh, who wants to go first?
Yeah, why don't you lead us off, Julie? And then David, you can tell us as well how you're doing that at BDEX, and I'll close us at GoTech.
Okay, so it's so many things. At first, again, it was fear, like, oh no, Oliver. So we own a production company. So we do TV commercials and photo shoots. Photo shoot business, gone. AI has gotten so good that our creative team is able to duplicate photos of people, like even doing hand motions that look so real. Also in marketing, being able to do a landing page now with Claude Design, which is everything you can do is so much faster. So I think in the marketing world, a lot of people are trying to figure out the value system behind that, because AI is a tool. And if you use AI to do your marketing, you need human intelligence to validate it and give you, like, I'm working with Claude like he's my designer. I'm not working with Claude like he's a marketer. And I think if you don't have that distinction and that kind of mindset going into it, you're just going to churn things out that look like everything else. I mean, I could spot a Claude deck from a mile away.
Yeah, I feel the same way. David, I'm curious, how are you utilizing AI in marketing at BDEX?
Well, just right before I answer that question, I have to make a comment that I don't know what it is about humans' ability to perceive, but we know when something's been AI generated, don't we?
Not the photos.
Well, the photos have gotten very good, but the videos certainly we can tell instantly when it's not real. So we have great content, great everything else, but if people perceive it as being AI generated, does it carry the same weight, or is it as impactful as if people realize that a person did it? Have you ever run into that with your field?
Yeah, and just as a personal consumer, and I think humans are going to make a comeback. I think we're going to be trendy soon again, because it's like even looking at a fashion product or beauty and knowing the person's fake, it like really takes away from like part of what we want as consumers is to believe that that person, I could be that person. Like if I'm wearing, if I shop the runway and I look at all the models, I'm like, I want to look like her. If she was an AI generated model, or in a magazine, I'd be like less engaged. And I think that's a big problem with using
Exactly.
AI generated in marketing. I think it depends on how you use it though. If you're showing how a product is installed or like touch this button, I think it's fine. You're saving yourself a lot of money. It is a case by case basis and what you're selling
Right.
wise.
Mhm. Well, believe it or not, this is even true in a technical realm. You have an engineering department that does programming and operations and things like this. Um, People routinely send this document that they wrote, okay, air quotes, saying that, look at this document I wrote. It's a proposal for how we should redo the entire platform, and it looks really nice and everything else. But people realize it's AI generated, and while it may be right and it may be interesting, whatever, people are not as engaged with that AI generated document than if somebody had taken the time to actually write it in their way of speaking, So I found that interesting.
Yeah.
Uh, to answer your question, how are we using it? Well, we use it to do menial tasks, for sure. Okay. There's some things that in the programming world are just menial. I harken back to the days where adding machines were a big bulky machine, and you would type the number and pull a handle to add up numbers like this. You needed a room full of them to do the closing end number, the month's numbers. One computer replaced a whole room full of people. Well, that's kind of what's going on now with AI. You have a bunch of busy work that's done that AI has replaced with a simple command, a simple prompt. So
I totally agree.
However, I've been victim to the delusions, that AI gets into, or the confusion, they can get into. It does a great job first, does 90% of a project, but then when you want to refine it some, it just blows up whatever it just did. It's like, no, that part I like. So it's been interesting to learn how to use it. Yes, exactly. That's the word I was looking for. But so you learn how to use it. You learn how to do things in short hops. And you're always checking, because it doesn't matter if it was AI generated, it's still your code, so you have to be responsible for it. So that's how we're using it at BDEX.
Nice. Well, I'm curious, Julie, first of all, I have to disagree with AI models not being engaging. Now, I'm single, no kids, so I'm always fascinated by the realism of Nano Banana. But when it comes to hallucinations, like okay, I'm in New York, like we see models everywhere, and I'm all for Fashion Week. Don't get me wrong. Some of my best friends are in Fashion Week and they hate the AI models. But I'm curious, like in marketing, how do you filter out for hallucinations or that last 10% that is really low quality and can be really affecting your business?
I just think you got to know what you're doing. I mean, you have to work with creatives that can make something look so real. I mean, if you have a small budget and you're promoting your product, I was telling you from a consumer point of view. If I could tell it's AI, I get a little less engaged. But we just did a string of photos for our client, and I can tell you there's no way you would think that they were fake. And they're promoting a product that's for exterior of your home use. So, I think it's just a case by case basis as far as like when you use fake photos and when you don't. And actually, there's commercials going on right now that are so whimsical and so out there, and it's AI, but it's almost okay because it's supposed to be almost like an animated dream.
Right.
I think my favorite.
I totally agree with you. It's like AI ads are like killing me. Like, this is definitely an AI ad. Like,
but it's
please,
cool.
how do I get out of this vortex?
But I mean, I saw, oh my God, my mom sent me she's like, you should check out this product. It was a podcast, right? It was like staged like 3 women, and the middle woman who was like talking about the product and wouldn't stop talking. And I'm like, oh my God, this whole podcast is AI. Like, it was so good that it hit me. I was like, this is so fake. Like, who goes on I mean, it'd be like I talked for between now and the next hour. I just sat here like a robot talking about my own company. It was just, but trying to pretend we're having a conversation. But my mom doesn't know the difference. So I have to always reply to her, Mom, this is AI. This is AI. It's not real. Not a real validation. So that's where I think there's a little bit of ethics there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think marketers have to, you can't present something like it's editorial validated in a fake way. Like, and anyway, I these fake podcasts kill me.
Yeah. Well, Google TV is kicking down a little bit on that. And there's been some lawsuits and legal and stuff like that, but it's so fascinating. I'll click on a YouTube video link, right? And then the next video that it plays is like an AI video, and it's so clearly, obviously AI. It's like, get me out of here. How did I get stuck in this vortex? But I'm curious, when you're using the AI in marketing, at what point do you make that decision that, okay, AI for marketing, a presentation, like I'm getting the idea across in like 2 to 3 minutes, which is great, but I really need that extra 10 to 15% of production value and high quality human validated that AI is not going to get me. David, why don't you go first on this?
Well, in the marketing world, I don't know because I'm not a marketing person. But I will answer you from the technical world. We actually have to roll up our sleeves and get into the code, and that's very common towards the end of a development cycle using AI. We have to just like, no, stop doing what you're doing and let me take it from here. And it's actually faster for us to actually finish stuff up manually, the old way.
Right, the old-fashioned way. And Julie, how about you?
So don't forget, I have 2 different companies. So I own an ad agency and then the startup. On the ad agency side, we don't use AI to create ads. I think we've been working in advertising for so long. We know what's best. And if you use AI, it's maybe like, hey, there's a couple of headlines we like. Is there something we're missing? Just like riff off of. It's for inspiration only. But to design ads, we do it. You're just going to get something that looks like everything else. Like I just saw an ad and I was like, oh my God, that is so Claude. Like I'm obsessed with Claude. As you can see, I'm on Claude Design, Claude Chat, Claude Cowork, and Code. And I go through 4 screens and 5 screens at the same time. Like I'm obsessed. I don't know what I did before it. I really don't. But when it comes for client work, we're very careful because we know the product best. Claude doesn't.
So what you're saying is like, once you've done AI, you use AI, you can see it elsewhere. Once you've done one, you can recognize it. What if you had not worked with AI? Would you have been would it have been that easy to pick up on the fact that somebody else used AI?
If I hadn't used it, I think your average person can tell.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
I think so too. I have to agree.
Yeah. So just to be clear, when I'm telling you I'm on Claude all day long, I use it a lot for data analysis, for creative, for performance. A spreadsheet and I don't go well together. I could lose days of my life. So I use it to cut the corners of things, and it gives me insights. Like I can't even add sometimes. So I'm just like, hey, like look at the performance, pull it from and just tell me, did this ad perform in a way that actually drove a sale somewhere else? And to figure out that formula for me, it's not, so we make creative that are ROI based. So if they don't make money for our clients, we don't do it.
Right.
So that's where I use AI, and I use it a lot for, as a starter, like a flame starter, like just
a catalyst. Yeah, it's definitely.
I use it as a catalyst because
definitely not.
how you get paralyzed, like you'll put off that task for days.
Right.
I could put off tasks for days.
Days, months, years. I mean, come on. Just starting a podcast this year, that's 10 years in the making, right? But AI has helped you get started, right? And that's the point, right?
The budget for now Claude's like yelling at me on a Tuesday, like, "Hey, I saw you spent too much on groceries." I'm like, leave me alone.
I mean, I'm a mathematician by heart. I was, theoretical math in the 10th grade. Claude's not that great with math, turns out. It's great with like codified things like law. It's great with design and some of those things, especially getting started. But math, definitely not too much. But to be fair, Julie, for a creative like yourself, yeah, of course, it's going to do all the heavy lifting. But I was playing cards with my grandpa the other day, and I took a picture of his scoreboard, and I said, add up all these columns for me. And Claude was really struggling with that for some reason.
Oh,
But yeah, for the AI in marketing, I'm kind of curious, and on the technical side too, just kind of keep this very focused. At what point do you make that decision to get off of AI and to maybe move into something that's maybe more human centric? And maybe you can give us a little bit of context with your case study that went wrong. We have a case study, an AI case study where AI went completely wrong. AI was in the wrong completely.
okay. So I've had AI be the third wheel twice. One time in a good way and one bad way. So here's what I'm finding. Clients are AIing their whole brand strategy and marketing. Okay. They're giving it to me like they wrote it. They don't even really read what they wrote because Claude wrote it all. So now I'm arguing with Claude, not them. And so then,
so funny.
then
I have to laugh
we
at that.
do the strategy, because I don't do strategy based on Claude. I do strategy based on 25, 30 years of experience.
Yeah.
And so then you're arguing with like, okay, they say it both ways. Well, you just took that from our Claude document. I'm like, well, you also gave it as if this is what you want us to use in consideration. So which one is it?
Right.
So so I think this is a founder issue. This is not happening at the corporate level. This is definitely founder issue. This is people who are creating businesses left and right, and letting Claude tell them one thing without any consideration of how the world works. And so I'm now fighting with this Claude version they've used and them, and it's two fights, and I'm kind of getting over it.
2 fights, 1 Claude. I love that hook.
No, totally. Don't send me. If you're going to use Claude, do it to organize all your thoughts that you put on paper.
Right.
Don't let Claude do the strategy work. Give it to me. I do what's right, and then you argue because it's not like Claude. Then go with Claude in the first place. Why are you asking me?
Like, why'd you hire me? Why am I even here if you're copy pasting Claude?
Yeah, I was like, no, this language is horrible. Like you would know, So anyway, it was a bit of a fiasco, but I just thought I have a new person in the room to argue with. Awesome.
Nice.
The time it went well.
A new know-it-all.
A client that I love and that I work with has a chat, like a robot chat in the Slack channel. I don't know. Have you experienced this yet? This was new for me. I'm sure this is basic, and I have never had but he's like agentic to their business. So he answers, and I forget that I can ask questions in the middle of the night because he's not sleeping, because I've humanized this person, and it's my client and him. And sometimes he jumps in too quick and my client has to tell him to calm down. So it's hilarious. So I wanted to prove a point. And I was like, remember a year and a half ago when I gave you a deck with all of these ideas and what you should do? Look, I found it from 2023 or 2024. I put it in. I mean, it was not even 3 seconds. The AI agent goes, well, dear client, she was absolutely right a year and a half ago. We should have done this last year. It just goes through every point. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of nice. The I told you so from a AI agent. It was amazing.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you sharing that, because sometimes people can get super dependent on artificial intelligence and they're not looking at the data. They're not looking at the ROI in marketing. They're not looking at the human component. And that's where I think BDAX really soars, because with this new MCP server and on the data side, you can really tell whether you're getting results or not. So David, tell me how the data tells the story. Like, what is the story that the data is telling?
Well, what we've done is initially we had developed a bunch of APIs. A lot of data platforms are actually almost concierge data platforms that tell us what you want. We'll get you the data where you want it. But we gave access to our platform through APIs where we can do identity resolution and also audience building. And while it works, you have to be technical to use APIs. A lot of marketing people are not programmers. So when the whole AI stuff started rolling around and the model context protocol, that's MCP, was popularized, we decided to expose our APIs through an MCP service. And now literally in Claude, you can have it configured to use the tools that we have and say, give me everybody who lives in Idaho that bought a car in the last 6 months, has a mortgage, and likes to hunt. Okay, and it'll find them.
Wow.
What's nice about using something like Claude, though, is that you can also combine it with a public data and just say, while you're at it, get the census data and merge the data together so that I can use it. And it does it. And it does it quite well. So
I love hearing that scenario.
Yeah, what we hope will happen is that we will have lowered the barrier or the friction to using our data.
Yeah, I really appreciate you sharing that. And Julie, I'm really curious to hear your perspective. If you were to say, I'm a production team or anyone considering using AI for production, for photo shoots, for agency work, like how can I lean on something that BDEX has created, for example, to supplement that data? And then maybe from a human perspective, really go after that in a hybrid strategy using AI in marketing. What do you think?
Well, given that our production is down because of AI, it's been quite fun. I think it opens up actually more revenue streams in production because you are now able to create more things. And I definitely think with more data and more access to more data, I think creative people are thinking more like business people more than ever because they're using data to make the decisions. And also, when you're not on set, like we do a lot of TV commercials, you create a scenario, you can't go back and film it. AI can fill in the gaps. Like, oh, we missed that. Well, we'll just AI it later. Before it'd be like, we'll do it in post. And people hated me on set. I'm like, can we change that in post? They're like, no. So I think it opens up such unique opportunities where your creativity and what you do is filtered through the tool. Like if you do the reverse, I think we're going to have a creative.
Right,
no one's going to be creative. It won't be creative. It won't be beautiful. It won't be individual. It'll just be like.
It's like we were just.
Yeah.
It's like we were talking about before we went live here. Is that AI is a great servant, but it's a bad master.
I love that line.
Yeah. So
I can give you guys some examples. For a lot of people are starting their own businesses now. In fact, I found out that 61% of all college seniors are starting their own business because they're scared. And this is very dangerous because when you tell, again, I'm going to use Claude but I use ChatGPT to do, so it's just whatever. But if you tell Claude, I have this idea, and you go through the idea, it'll be like, you're amazing. This is the best idea ever with no context. And now all of a sudden you have fake validation that your idea is genius. And this is going to happen with a lot of kids. And that's why, not to plug Boarderline, but that's why we're doing it, so that kids have access to mentors to tell them, don't.
Yeah.
My son created a pad for a dog to walk in, put their feet down and get their paws washed and get a treat that pops up. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Classicing? Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, my kid's a genius, 9 years old. So we go, I'm like, go on Claude, play. He's like, this is amazing. They do a prototype and the prototype was amazing. And then it's like, if you think about it, what dog is going to stand still and let water go up its paws? Like,
if you're a dog owner out there, you need to tap into BDEX dog owner data and hire Julie to give you real photos and not AI photos.
well,
Right?
it's just that Claude
Come
placated
on,
my
views
son.
are going up. I love that. They love that bit. Oh, come on, the views are going up. I love this. This is the dopamine hits for me. But you're exactly right. And I love that you're bringing up that second topic, Julie, in perfect fashion as a great marketer. How do you start a business and what you need to know? All right. First up is you, Julie.
Oh yeah, what do you need to know? Well, there's so many facets of this. So I think we have to be, is it AI related or just starting a business? Because those are two different things.
Open to interpretation. Your views are up. Go.
Okay. Here's some watch outs with starting a business. I just already told you one. Claude is going to tell you you're amazing and you're not. Well, I mean, you could be, but you need human validation. A big problem is that people are naming their products and companies, and they're going into AI and be like, give me a great name for this is what my product does. And AI does not do trademark search. And if you're a new business owner, how do you know? You're just like, oh,
yeah.
and
don't get legal on this.
You can ask it, hey, can you do a clearance check? It doesn't have USPTO access. AI doesn't have access to a lot of things that they can pull data from. So you can't assume that everything it's saying is like in alignment with how you should build your business, So that's a big call out that I have to say. Also, if you send it strategy for your new business and it tells you again, you're a genius. If you know how to ask him, if you really want him, I guess it's him, Claude, him or her, to really give you a deep analysis based on market, you have to know your prompts. And that's where prompts are really important, because I've challenged and I've gone back and I said, this is BS. I know you don't think this is great. I need you to look at it from this angle. And he came back and he was like, yeah, you're right. This idea is not good. So
that's a great point.
If you don't take it upon yourself, every new business owner has to read the manual on how to start a business and like literally read all the basics.
Right.
Do not rely on AI to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
And like now we're doing legal documents and we're, like I would never not go to LegalZoom if I'm starting a new business. Don't listen to it for tax ideas. Like talk to a real accountant. Like don't get so reliant that it's going to just set up everything and away you go. That's on that side. Then there's the emotional side to starting a business. Can you handle it? I mean,
right.
And you think you can. You think you can because now you have a new best friend.
Right.
You have humanized AI to be your business partner. Bad. Real bad.
Yeah, no, those are really great points. And we got some people tuning in. I really appreciate seeing how in real time we know that what you're saying is spiking the views or not. So come on. And we got some spike views on YouTube. Let's go. Come on. If you're tuning in, drop a comment. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We are live here with David, the CTO of BDEX, and Julie, a co-founder at the Boarderline. David, I'm curious, like from your perspective, from a technical point of view, like what do you really need to start a business from a technical perspective? 30 seconds, go.
Well, yeah, well, that's, Julie said the word validation. I would lean heavily on that. Claude is very eager to please and will always tell you the smartest client that's ever used it. It's like, you have to be very careful with that. You have to validate concepts. Technical people tend to be enamored with the how to do stuff, but really with AI also, it's actually easier to focus on the what it is that you're trying to do. And that what needs to be validated. Is it a valid proposition? Are people really going to buy what you want to sell? And before doing any work at all, really, you should validate the concept. And there's ways to do that without spending a lot of money. So that would be my feedback on that.
I love that, David. And my technical side is like really peeking out as a former data scientist at Microsoft and also really appreciating data and validation. But to Julie's point, like, let's not get into this false validation cycle where everything is biased to make David feel good, because now I'm tapping into David's ego, and your name is David too. So I'm tapping
Yeah.
into your ego, but now it's like, well, why don't we look at what the data says? And the data says your ROI is down. So don't do this, even though Claude is like, do it, do it, do it. Or from a legal point of view, it's like you're violating a lot of patents and trademarks here. Like, you should not be doing this. So consult a professional is definitely a good perspective. But yeah, I would just say from my perspective, like going into this topic of how to start a business and what you need to know, the first thing you need to know is that validate your idea. Talk to 100 humans and get their perspective first and foremost. Like, we want to hear your business perspective as a new business owner. So if you're in college or you're in your middle adult years, or even if you're a wise human being listening to this and you want to start a business, talk to 30 people, talk to 100 people and ask them what their problems are. And then secondly is just build with technology, build with AI, build with all the tools that you have, and really validate that. So I'm curious if this resonates with my co-host and guest here. Like, when you're starting a business, I mean, do you interview people? Do you talk to humans? Are you just passing Claude code across the seam to other Claude code bots, receiving it on the other side? Like, how are you really proving out that your business makes sense? And for, I don't know, viewers today who will watch this later, what would you say to that one person who really wants to validate, their business problem, and I don't know, maybe leave their career and make a real business out of the data and out of the technology? Julie, why don't you go first?
Okay, there's some easy things you can do. Now, this is where you can use AI. Have AI, think of it as a data scrubber. So it's going to scrub, be like, can you go check all of Reddit reviews, what people like in the market complain about? Like, I agree. What you said was so important. Are you solving a problem?
Right.
A lot of people create products that are nice to have or better than something that already exists. People don't think of barriers to entry. I always talk about that. You think you've created something new. It's really a feature. It's not a company, and someone else is just going to copy you. So you have to have a value proposition, and you can do, and I agree to 100%, talk to 100 people. SurveyMonkey, although sometimes not cheap, has the ability to send out surveys, but I would use AI to give me the right steps to make a good survey and ask the right questions, because it's pulling from best practices of market research.
Right.
So when you don't know something, that's where AI comes in, but look at it. Don't just take it and send it out. You know what I mean? If you're looking, indexing, do people really have a problem with the way their vacuum cleaner works? I always bring up vacuum cleaners. Make sure you're asking questions that aren't leading. Don't lead them like, hey, do you hate vacuuming? Who likes vacuuming? No one.
I love vacuuming. It's therapeutic for me, but maybe that's just my immigrant Korean side. Like, but yeah, you're right. If you hate vacuuming, like,
don't lead people to give you the answers to validate yourself.
Exactly.
And if you let people talk, like there's nothing better than a focus group. If you're marketing to moms,
come on,
get 5 moms and come on over and just ask a bunch of questions. I mean, people pay focus companies back in the day. Those focus like 100 grand.
Especially with AI these days, like a good focus group with a group of moms, invaluable, especially from a data point of view. And that's actually a great segue into our next topic as we're kind of closing down the episode, which is big founder mistakes. We want to hear, Julie, what is one of the biggest founder mistakes you see founders making today?
Thinking they need money, trying to raise money. I've done this. I keep saying, oh, got to raise some money. No, bootstrap as long as you possibly can. So to that end, make sure you have a line of credit, make sure you have cash in the bank, make sure you could stomach the highs and the lows. Know you're going to need a therapist, like a serious therapist, because you're going to be freaking out. But yeah, I mean, I think people want to go, they think their idea pre-revenue is to go look for, it's family or friends or nothing. Like, you can't go and expect like a VC to come in. It was funny. Someone said to me yesterday, like, oh, great, your idea is signaling, it's being validated, and you probably could raise money right now. But imagine somebody asking you every week, what have you done last week? Why haven't you done this? You know what? I have an expert. I'm going to bring them in, and you can't say anything because I have a contract and I own this much of your business. Like
Right.
if you're doing something that you feel like very like, you're making a difference, social impact. Do you want all that ruined by some guy who could care less that you're like helping homeless people and he just wants to see where his money's going? So if you think you need to raise money, be very careful, and also be very careful. One of the reasons why we did create Boarderline in the beginning is that when you start a business, you're really quick to give equity away and you're really quick to give advisory shares. But you really need to test run people and find out, like, are they a good partner? Are they really going to do what they say? Do you have it in writing? Like, if they don't accomplish X, Y, and Z, it deals off. Like, you got to be really careful, because I'm guilty of all of these things, by the way, as an entrepreneur. But I'll be like, wait, you like me? You like me? You want to help me? You believe in me? Okay, how much do you want? Because you're just you're so wanting people to like think that you're onto something.
Right.
It's delusional.
No, I love that.
Because you have imposter syndrome.
I love that.
Yeah, and then don't ask Claude, because he'll tell you you're amazing. So don't do that.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so that's I think those are my big call outs. Is the money has to be there, and you have to be able to bootstrap it, because without money.
Bootstrap with profit, and don't take on equity too early. I love that. David, what is your perspective? I'm really curious, David, to hear from your perspective as a founder, as a CTO. What is the biggest mistake that founders are making these days in small business?
I'll go back to validation. Some people get enamored with a concept and they run with it and say we'll validate it later, or they have kind of a build it and they will come kind of mentality, and that's a recipe for disaster. Mostly, a lot of the people who succeed, overnight successes, air quotes again. If you look at their history, there's a whole history of failures. Okay, and a lot of them will tell you that they didn't think it through. Well, when they did these other ventures, and there was always something that they didn't know about, and they had to learn. So I'm still I'm stuck on validation, because people sometimes will build out a whole infrastructure for something that never had a chance of working.
Yeah, I love that. Validate, validate, validate. Again, go back from my marketing, get that focus group of moms. If the moms say they don't need another stroller, don't go build this stroller with Claude and then no moms buy it. I absolutely love that. All right, well, we're almost out of time here. And Julie, it has been so great. So we want to talk about tech stack. Like, let's get to the point of like tech stack. You're clearly a Claude fan. I am a fan of many technologies and adopting them, but let's just do a super rapid fire. Like, what is your tech stack today? Top 2 tools, go.
Okay, well, I'm just going to tell you what we just built. So what we built for universities is that 2 people who are mentoring each other have everything in one place. So you don't have to email, you don't have to do a Google Drive, you don't have to do a Zoom call. It's all consolidated in one hub. So that's where, our focus as a company is the tech stack. If you ask me personally, my tech stack is Claude. Yeah.
Claude and ChatGPT.
Nice. David, how about you? What is your tech stack today, personally and also business-wise for BDEX?
Oh, my gosh. I'm all over the place. I use a number of programming tools, IDEs, and database things. But as it relates to AI, I actually use 3 commonly: Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini. And you're going to laugh. I use them at the same time for the same thing.
I do too.
It's kind of crazy, but nice. I'm in a really good session with Claude, and I don't want to mix up that context too much, you know. So I'll copy something over. What did Claude mean by such and such? Expand on that, and so ChatGPT happily does that. One thing I did want to say before we break is that AI does not think. It has no capacity for thinking. It is a glorified indexing machine. You got to think of it that way. It's a step. up from Google search.
Right.
It's an intelligent way of searching. But it
Yeah.
doesn't really think. It almost regurgitates what's out there.
Right.
So
Well, early
yeah,
on,
keep that in mind.
and to build on that, 60% of ChatGPT context is romantic novels. Another 20% is Reddit. And then the last 20% is like what you fed it.
Oh,
So it's all very human
wait, this
generated,
is
like
really
very
important.
romantically.
Websites are going to be pretty much gone in a year. So it's a great opportunity if you're starting a business, blog, do PR, go on podcasts. I would have said
Yeah.
no to all of this 5 years ago. It's all making a
Nice.
comeback. Think about content is more important than ever. And what you said, David, is the most important thing. Don't think that because you build a website, they will come, because they're not coming. And if you didn't put
Right.
aside 200 grand for an ad campaign, bye-bye.
Right. Okay, my tech stack very quickly. So I doubled down on what David said, and I have ChatGPT is my main because that's my main bay. I'm always going to go back to ChatGPT. Grandma knows ChatGPT. I'm constantly on ChatGPT, but Claude is my side girl. Always on Claude. Going to have Claude there, Claude Cowork, etc. Claude's Anthropic, more moral, ethics, morals. Claude is thinking that way. Then Google Gemini. Google's a behemoth. You cannot compete with Google. Copilot. I am also on Copilot. And then Manus.im. I also throw in Meta and Zuckerberg because Zuckerberg will not go down without a fight. And then I'm also using Google AI Studio. I'm using Gamma.app. Which is one that I love. I really like Suno for music production. I'm a musician. I love producing music very quickly. And then on top
So
of
am I.
that, I make them all fight against each other. Like my pre-context is tell me why I'm wrong, assume you're always wrong, and validate your sources, and then tell me 15 reasons why I should distrust you. And it just throws it for a loop. It's crazy.
No, that's really smart. I'm going to actually do that because, and again, it's looking at research, not so much like you don't want it to think for you. We have to be careful. I'm getting lazy. I will admit it. Getting very lazy, but it's made me a better marketer for other reasons, which we would need another hour for.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the second time we've had you on the show, Julie. I'm really grateful that we're able to kind of compare and contrast this episode from the last episode. So just from a perspective, like what is the best way for people to stay connected with you? How can people get involved with what you're doing at the Boarderline?
Well, we do have our own little fun podcast on TikTok. I mean, we put all our clips on TikTok because who's listening like to me talk for an hour? No one. If you want to email me and have questions, I mean, I'll just give my email out. It's julie.matzen at the Boarderline, BOARD, not the other one. So theboarderline.co.
Very nice. And for you, David, for people who want to get connected with BDAX and get all the things on BDAX and your Alpha MCP, tell us how people can get involved with that.
Well, our website is bdex.com, bdex.com. There's no mention yet of our MCP service because really that's friends and family right now while we work out the kinks. But if they drop us a line, we're more than happy to see if we can open up access for you. And on LinkedIn also, I'm on LinkedIn as David Wellborn, just like you see my name right there. It's easy to find.
Yeah, and I just want to throw out, if there's anybody in education on the call or knows somebody in mentoring and wants to help join this cause of making a difference for students in the future, reach out to me. I would love to do a demo.
Awesome. I absolutely love that. Well, what I'm going to say is, in closing, really appreciate this conversation. It was such a great BDEX takeover. The double Davids took it over with the previous guest, Julie. I cannot wait to hear what Jessie and David Finkelstein are going to say about this. But in closing, I cannot wait to say thank you so much for you all viewing and joining. Look, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your insights as well, Julie, and the work that you're doing in the data space. And look, seriously, it was such a valuable, fun conversation. There's so many little antics back and forth. I can't wait for the clips coming out of this. We always love having leaders like you on the BDEX podcast, Deconstructing Data. See you next week.
So audience members, we want to invite you to get powered by BDEX. Build authentic connections with your audience and drive unprecedented engagement. So just imagine harnessing the power of AI to craft your audiences that truly resonate with your brand, ensuring that your marketing is hitting the mark every time. We want to bring you closer to those marketing goals, and we're eager to guide you. So just visit bdex.com. You can click on the Talk to an Expert button and get powered by BDEX.
Deconstructing Data is the show that makes data make sense. Every Thursday, David Finkelstein and myself, Jessie Lezak, sit down with industry experts to unpack how data really drives marketing. We do this in plain language anyone can understand. If you want real insights, real conversations, and zero jargon, tune into Deconstructing Data, live on LinkedIn every Thursday at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time.